Juan Pablo Montoya. You gotta love this story. He's on the pole. His first pole ever. 2 years on the NASCAR tour. Wins the pole at Kansas. Then an hour later, NASCAR blows the fairy tale and comes in and says his shocks were too high pressured. Now, sometimes crew chiefs will try to fudge NASCAR a little bit, pump up the rear shock so it raises the rear of the car so it gets a little more downforce and you go a little faster in the corners. I guess NASCAR's been getting a little lax on those inspections since a couple of years ago when they caught a whole bunch of guys pumping up those shocks that should run about 75 psi to maybe 800 psi. You don't want a shock exploding in the garage area. It's probably not going to be a good sight. That's the reason for the safety violation. I think the crew chief, Brian Patty, is probably going to lose about 2 weeks. Now NASCAR might just say, hey, no harm, no foul. Montoya has to start 42nd, back of the pack. They might say that's penalty enough. I don't think so. I think the team's going to take a hit. Montoya's had 3 crew chiefs already this year. I think he's going for number 4. But who knows what NASCAR's going to do? I think they're a little embarrassed right now. So, guess who's on the pole for Sunday's Camping World RV 400 presented by Coleman? I call it the Kansas 400. Jimmie Johnson. Hey, Mr. October, and it's only September. The guy's starting to look tough. I know everybody says Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards, and they're writing Kyle Busch off, but Jimmie Johnson, he's a clutch guy. Gets to this point of the season, ripped off 4 straight last year to win the title going away. He might be ripe for that right now. Roush's cars, they got some tricks. Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards, they'll definitely be at the front of the pack. Carl will have to start way back and have to work his way up there because qualifying was rather strange. Kansas, like we said yesterday, is looking like a wild card race. The wild card race so far in the championship chase. Used to be Texas or Phoenix when you get down there toward the end. Made the difference. But this place, only 2 of the top 12 in the championship chase made the top 10 in qualifying. Tony Stewart's way, way back there. And some of the other guys, Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, they got a ways to go to get to the front here Sunday. So, we've got Jimmie Johnson on the front row, right next to him, Mark Martin. Mark's had a great year. He's had almost half a dozen shots at the pole, and he's on the outside again. Missed it by that much, but he might have a shot at winning. It's about time he won to back up all these good runs he's had. He's still got it. This is his kind of track, a Charlotte type, 1.5 miles. No cookie cutters though. Mark Martin could have a shot. He's been running strong lately. Jimmie Johnson looks pretty good. Carl Edwards. But I'm starting to get a good feeling about Kyle Busch. Yes, he's so far out. He's down in 12th place in the standings, and he's blown an engine, and the part fell off at Loudon, and he says he's out of it. Hey, we still got 8 races to go. 8 races. A lot of stuff could happen in 8 races, and I think Kyle Busch is going to make a lot of things happen. Before this championship's over, Kyle Busch may be right back in the thick of it. And if he is, you heard it here. Mike Mulhern for the Winston-Salem Journal, journalnow.com.